Andrew Rivers back again. This time from I assume sunny Las Vegas.
That's right.
Is the shirt Super Fog? Don't answer. Don't tell me what it is yet. I want to make a couple guesses. That's what's on your shirt. That's either like a fish affinity group or, and this maybe is both actually. It could be a recreational cannabis brand.
Do you want me to answer now? I
Yes,
don't
God
know.
damn it.
When does the guessing end?
The
And
guessing's
the
over. It was just it was. I know
okay.
there's a rule of threes in comedy, but I gave it just two.
It is I think it's a cannabis brand. It was just a free shirt someone gave me, and I
Gotcha.
just Googled it, and it popped up with Super Fog vape. So yeah,
Okay. Oh, that makes
I
sense.
can
The
I can run
fog.
and grab my dad's Seahawks jersey for the pod, but
I'm wearing a
you
golf
always
hat and a bluey
I
shirt,
know.
so I think we're safe. I think we're safe. Um,
This is still training camp for the podcast.
that's
We're
right.
gonna get in our groove. Casey's working through some injuries, a hamstring,
Yeah,
a cheese string.
I was trying to find something. So, episode 4 of Hard Knocks, second to last episode. I'm already mourning the loss of Hard Knocks. Not to we invoked your dad, and then I started talking about mourning losses as though it's
I
just
thought
as
you were
important.
mourning Jake Bobo, your hero.
Oh man, and that was that experience of, and I'm sure this is the way all the Hard Knocks are, where you know the injury happened because it gets reported in the news. But I'm gonna level with you on something. There's a movie I've never seen. I never saw The Sixth Sense. But the reason is, and I don't even like. I know there's a lot of. We all decided we hate M Night Shyamalan. He's like the Nickelback of directors, where everyone loved him, and then they all decided they hated him, and won't admit that they ever liked him. I still like M Night Shyamalan. Like there's movies of his that are just roundly hated. That I like The Village. I like The Happening. Those are two that I think are considered like two of the worst. I like them both. I never saw Signs, and I never saw the good ones. I never saw the charming M Night Shyamalan movies. But the reason is because I knew what the twist was, right? Like I knew that the Bruce Willis had been dead the whole time or whatever. Like I knew that twist, so it just wasn't.
Whoa, whoa!
I know,
Spoiler
I know.
alert.
I'm spoiling
Um,
30-year-old movies.
it's interesting because I think of comedy like that sometimes, where Anthony Jeselnik, you know that something is coming, but as long as you is good enough for the payoff, it's worth it. So I thought The
Yeah.
Village was a great movie. I mean, um, didn't he do like Mr. Glass, or like was it another Bruce Willis thing,
Did he do
Unbreakable?
like did he do Unbreakable? I don't know if he did Unbreakable. Maybe he did.
There's always one of the. There's a few garbage ones in there, but look, I've had some lazy moments myself. So once
Enough
you
about your
earn,
dating life.
listen, I put in all the work for that actually, but
Yielding zero
yeah,
results. Um
yeah.
it was like though, I mean I not that it made me not watch it, but they did a good job of playing up Bud Clark and Jake Bobo
He's
with
trying to get
everybody.
his legs under him. Oh God, why do we have to do this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody watching probably already knew that they were both going to suffer, season ending, or in Bud Clark's case. By the time it came out, I don't think he'd officially been put on IR, but for an unreleased video, I had already speculated that, which, by the way, I have an unreleased video that maybe I'll release at some, nah, I probably won't, but I realized that I've had this speculation out there that Bud Clark would end up on the IR, even though that hadn't been announced. They said like a months long injury. And I was like, you're going to get him back with like 3 or 4 weeks left. A rookie who's never played, regular season snaps in the system. A guy that probably doesn't have all the physical gifts that Nicky Manwari has. Like, is it worth it to lose whoever the guy is? You would have to try to get through to the practice squad to do the, because I don't know if you know this, in order to put him on IR with the designation to return, you have to get him to the week 153 man roster, which means you have to waive somebody else, or whatever. So you would lose somebody else, and obviously the Seahawks value every spot on that roster, the ready squad, all that stuff. So I thought that like the 4 games of an inexperienced Bud Clark weren't going to be worth it, and it turned out I was right. Maybe the injury was worse than they initially thought. Also, maybe it wasn't like a 3 to 4 month thing. Maybe it's a 6 month thing, and if it's a 6 month thing, it's moot anyway. But yeah, it was sad, man. I mean, it was knowing it was coming. It didn't make either moment less sad, and to watch, the especially the Bud Clark one, because I will say I have in the last couple of years tore an ACL, partially not as bad as Jake Bobo, but that was like more of a where I'm like, he goes, something's not right, and I remember that feeling so well, because when I tore my ACL partially, I also tore my meniscus, and my meniscus, the way it tore, it flapped into the joint, so I couldn't straighten my knee. My knee was stuck at a right angle or less, and you just like, you go, oh yeah, this is a serious thing. This is not a small thing. I didn't just twist my knee. I didn't just sprain my knee. This is a we've done it. We've done a serious injury, and his obviously much worse than that. Were you like? Was there any part of you that was emotional watching any of that stuff?
Yeah, I think this episode really showed the humanity behind the football game. I mean, it's one thing. There's a viral tweet that always makes me laugh when it recirculates, and I think it's about the Damar Hamlin situation where it's like, scrape that guy off the field. We got a football game to play. And so there is a moment of like, hey, that guy's dead. Let's cut to commercial. Here's a couple
Yeah,
Bud Light ads. We got the cart. Everyone hugged him. Next man up.
yeah,
Um, you know, um, and then thinking about their journey and their boy, his kid is watching, and then his kid doesn't care. His kid is like, "Hey, fix my bike when you get home."
you're talking about Bud Clark, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Jake Bobo thing is funny because we were just talking about it the week before, where we're going second contract to a fifth receiver. It seems kind of odd.
Yeah.
Um, I did look it up. It's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was like a really good deal, but it's like it's you know
It was
$5
like 2 years, eight
million
million
or
dollars. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. So it's not terrible, but and I always think personally ACLs are always like a 2-year thing. I don't know how your recovery is going, but
I'm still a step slow. Let's just say that. Yeah, that's it.
yeah. Well, if Jake Bobo is as slow as dirt, I can't imagine what metaphor they would use for Casey McLean. But I do worry. It is one of those things because
I'm as slow as
Riley
lava,
Mills.
cold
Yeah.
lava.
Well, some lava can move. Lava's
Yeah, I'm cold
deceptively.
lava, baby. I'm room temperature lava.
You're hardened and part of the Earth's core now. Um, yeah, Riley Mills got to come back, a couple games before the playoffs there last year and make an
Hmm.
impact. But I don't know that secondary. Now, we don't know. Maybe Bud Clark needs some tutoring with his practice habits. Maybe he's a little too much in love with that Mary Jane. So it's not like we can rely on him to like pick up where he left off. So I don't know.
Mary Jane being a reference to the rookie talent show. Did you hear? So Nico Thorpe goes, or so, I think it was Derek Hall, but Nico Thorpe's the MC, and Derek Hall's like, nobody did stand up comedy, and I'm like, thank God,
Yeah.
thank God. Adam Ray's been around this team too much. Don't let them do stand up comedy. They're gonna start putting on Dr. Phil outfits. It's gonna be a
I
problem.
saw Adam Ray was on with Rich Eisen, who I find enjoyable sometimes when I want to hear the latest Los Angeles Rams news. Um, but he was going over some of his. He did a roast bit, and then he came in and did a thing at the practice, and he was like, "I might be on the next episode," and I was a little relieved, but his jokes were good. His jokes, I'll give him his roast jokes. He came in and roasted the team, very Tony Hinchcliffe of him, but did very well. Some of it even played on Rich Eisen's show, but
Nice.
yeah, no Adam Ray yet.
Yeah.
Take that,
Um,
sucker.
the other thing about the Jake Bobo injury is one thing. Your joint practice. Everybody's kind of in like partial uniform. There was a logistical element of the Bud Clark thing that I like makes sense, but I just had never thought. I mean, the guy has a broken ankle, and then obviously they get him. They're on the field. They diagnose him on the field. Know they're gonna have to bring out the cart and the air cast. We've kind of seen all that a bunch of times, and maybe this is shown on Hard Knocks a whole bunch. But they get him in, and he's on FaceTime with his kid, like you were talking about, and they have to cut off his pants. And in my mind, I'm like, pretty sure my mom, if I was wearing those pants, she'd be like, pull the pants over. We can't replace, we're not replacing those pants. It costs $80.
How
We're
to
not
tell you
replacing those
grew up
pants.
poor? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, Bud
The
Clark
McLean family budget's a little different than the
the
Seahawks
Seahawks.
billion-dollar franchise, but yeah.
But also, like, they get him on crutches, and he's got to go crutch over, and he's got to, like, with a freshly broken ankle, put on shorts and his regular clothes, and then he's hopefully hopefully he brought shorts with him. They
Didn't
maybe
they pop
reset
it?
it.
Maybe, yeah. It sounds like they thankfully, although I kind of like seeing that stuff a little bit, but I'm glad for the squeamish visitors. They kept that off the camp, but you can tell by his face going like, ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that kind of feels better. Ugh, ugh.
Well, and then they got his kids watching. Which, by the way, what I love is so much on TV. You'll see these guys talk to their kids, and they know that the cameras are there, so they don't talk to them. Like I swear in front of my kids. You know what I mean? Like he was swearing in front of his kids, and I think that stuff's like adds to the humanity and the reality of it. So,
I think the
um,
rules go out the window when you have a broken ankle. I think, gosh, golly gee, Whitaker's is my ankle's left.
yeah. Which I mean, obviously, from a football perspective, too bad. Also, from like just a Bud Clark perspective, it's you spend your whole life trying to reach that moment, and then you're like, before your first season even begins, it ends, and that stinks.
Second round pick. I mean that the wasted draft capital, the depth and then not even if he wasn't going to make an immediate impact, it's like that just resets him and
Yeah.
his learning curve.
I will say and not that I think Nicky Manwari, we're gonna, always everyone now is gonna get compared to Nicky Manwari because he's such a dynamic player and such a unique player. But like maybe I think he's an incredibly smart player also. But I do remember everyone was excited about him, and he flashed week one, like it was really exciting. He gets hurt basically immediately, and then came back like light years ahead of where he was. So I do think there's a chance that when we see Bud Clark 12 months from now, he's a more intelligent player who understands the system a lot more than he does right now. So it's probably not all loss, but certainly you'd rather have him have 17 games of on-field play than spend a year on the bench. You can only learn so much on an iPad, as I tell my kids constantly. Did you see the
Do you
scene where
limit screen time for your kids?
we don't let them use tablets at all, and then just have the TV on nonstop. Just raise old school. We're old school that way. If it's a screen, it's gonna be fucking huge.
Blue is cool, but whatever bedazzled, bejeweled Farmville you're playing is evil.
Yeah, no, my wife's
Meta
very
just
much
came
against.
out. Well,
Go ahead.
Meta just came out with these like 2 hour time limits for you can't use them during these hours, and I was like, we should give that to everybody, really. But um, I don't know.
My wife's very much against video games, and I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 5 soon so that I can play Grand Theft Auto 6 with my daughter. That's my. I'm not really gonna do that. We're gonna play something. I don't know what it is yet, but Grand Theft Auto 6 would be a very funny game to. Now this is what it's called, a prostitute.
This is how I met your mother.
Okay, all right, Andrew.
Too far, too far, too far.
The scene they had a scene in the or in the Hard Knocks episode where they had the leadership council in Mike McDonald's office, and it made me be like, oh, dude, this is just they're just turning football into a day job. You don't think about that kind of shit. Like they show enough meetings already, but then you're like, we got to have meetings about the meetings now. What the fuck is this?
That's cool. I wonder if other teams look at that and go, ah, shit, maybe we do gotta treat this a little more seriously. It's kind of when you realize like comedy is a full-time job too, when you're like, oh, the booking and the the travel and the actually sitting down to write the stuff. Well, not you because you're a genius, but
Yeah, you weren't gonna
yeah.
get away with much, but after the meeting my wife thing, that had to be a nice. That had to be a compliment. Suddenly, you were gonna lose connection on accident. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Was it 11 members in the leadership council? Is that with 12 with Mike McDonald? Maybe is that by design?
Is that I didn't actually count it, but there were a lot of dudes in that office. It was like this is like
Yeah.
an all hands on deck meeting. It felt it's like a quarter of the team is the leadership council. Are they actually leaders, or is it just like these are the old guys?
Well, probably both. I mean, we'd have to go back but it seemed like all the major play, like, uh, yeah, it didn't seem like, Monterey Foster Jr. was in there. So,
Yeah. No, it was definitely veteran players. The I thought you texted me. I think you were watching it yesterday, right? When you texted me,
yeah.
and I was able to predict the exact spot you were in because they showed John Schneider walking up to people doing a movie quote, going, guess that movie," and it's like he goes up to like what is John Schneider 50? He's older than a lot of these guys. I'm gonna pull this up real quick, get his actual age. This is one of those things where you go like, oh, he looks old, but then I'm gonna find out that he's exactly my age. Um, let's see, how old is he?
1971, 55
Oh,
years old.
55. Okay, so he goes up to this like a 40-year-old black dude, and he's doing like a Three Amigos impression, like yeah,
Chevy
and
Chase, the guy's like, I don't know.
he's like, I don't know, is that Community? I don't know what
Yeah.
the
Like,
and he
is there
kept
any
giving
black guys
hints.
in this movie? No, I don't. No, I think we have different. Poontang? Is that Pootie Tang? Is that?
Booty tang. That's by the way the you grew up poor because you won't cut off those pants. The fact that you're walking around doing Three Amigos impressions is you grew up in rural Wisconsin. The not the rest of the world that did that movie make the same impact. I mean, I know it's beloved, but you said you don't think you'd like hanging out with John Schneider, and I'm 50-50. He seems to be on a fitness kick as opposed to a drinking with his entire staff in the middle of a bar. And
I think it's both, honestly. Like,
well,
I don't know. Like that. Can we talk about his T-shirt size? Like, I think he needs to take some fashion lessons from you. And there's not a lot of people that I would say that about, but buy a little bit bigger shirt there, buddy. Like his biceps are huge. Like his arms are huge, but his belly is also he
yeah.
looks like Stavros with big arms for some reason. Like his belly is gigantic, and he's wearing like a crop top T-shirt, like one of the defensive linemen wears, and but he just looks. I mean, maybe it's just the time of year, but he just looks haggard. Like he looks beat up.
Well, when you see him at like the parade, and he's just like so drunk, you're like, oh, I mean,
Yeah.
one, in that moment, you're like, I would love to be hanging out with him right now. I suspect when he's at his, I'd like him like 3 days into a bender. I don't want him on good sleep. He seems obnoxious on good sleep. Um,
That's interesting. Yeah. I just can't. I'm not a like. If you're like the guessing game guy, cool. I respect that personality. But like, if I clearly have no idea what you're talking about, don't give me 7 hints. This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm not. I'm in the middle of practice. Like I'm trying to pay attention to my team here. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, you guys, focus on the hips. What was that? Chevy Chase? I don't even know who that is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's use your arms. Use your arms. He's
Steve Martin.
like
Yeah.
he's like trying to get out of the conversation a little bit. Like I don't know. You got to bail me out, man. I don't know.
I know. Well, I know that's
And
you gotta if you're gonna be the quiz guy, you have to
yeah.
accept the oh yeah as the I don't know, I don't know. But just you gotta move on. We can't keep pressing
Let's
me on this because we both feel bad at the end of this.
Yeah. This guy clearly doesn't spend his free time on IMDb looking up random movie facts, but I mean, even I think about those things like there was those popular Doug Loves Movies podcast for a while, and I would always listen and be like, I'd be the worst at this game because I'm just not I don't retain information like that really. So
Yeah.
like, I just could not. You could be like Will Smith, and I'd be like the three movies, and then I'm probably out after that. You know?
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I hosted for Joe List at Tacoma Comedy Club, and he has like a an encyclopedic memory of movies, and I don't, and he'll do like him and his opener Matt Wayne would do like quotes from a movie, and I would do the thing where I'm like and I'm like I don't know what movie this is from. Like I'm not, but they, graciously
This is
let
why
me
you
move
won't get
on.
bumped up to feature.
But so we watched the 1992 World Series Game 6 with it's Toronto versus Philadelphia, the one where Joe Carter hits the walk-off home run. And I was at least able to hold my own in that. Like I knew a lot of the players and I knew a bunch of stuff about a lot of the players. That was nice. But it makes me realize sometimes where I'm like, oh, this is why people sometimes don't like talking sports with me because I'm like, no, tell me what you think about this stat.
That's why Corey's not on the podcast. Too many contract talks. You're worried about the 5th year cap hit of Jake Bobo, and Corey's like, I just like the tits on the cheerleaders, man. I don't know.
Corey will be back on. He's just not watching Hard Knocks, so he'd be giving us the diplomatic answer to questions he didn't care about. So, uh,
Yeah, remember the scene with the injury? He'd be like, yeah, 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 it's crazy. Yeah,
like yeah, sometimes injuries are bad and sometimes they're not as bad, but yeah, it's also like the again like just how it's just a workplace. Brady Russell coming in and just telling the gruesome details of his wife giving birth, and you're like, oh yeah, these are yeah. It's like this is just it's just an office basically.
yeah. I like that they have like the motivational poster, like make it right, and like 12 is one, and it's like a
Process
dentist
over
office with a
results.
kitten going, hang in there, and it's one of the other lines that stood out was where he goes, the standard is the line you refuse to live below. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the kind of stuff that'd get me hyped up, you know.
This is you and
But
you and the aforementioned Corey Michaelis were like long before I ever like took the book in at all. You were like, "Oh yeah, I read Win Forever by Pete Carroll and it was so meaningful to me." And you're like taking this lunatic football coach and going like, "I got to apply this stuff to comedy." And then just still being the comedian that you were before you read
and
the book.
look
But
how it worked out. We had some success, and then we kind of got lazy for the last couple years, and time for a new coach to come in
time to
and
retire
change things
against your
around.
will. Time to
Time to
retire
go to
against your will.
Vegas and get one last contract.
Oh man. The talent show, did you have any like first off it's very funny that they do that. It feels like the kind of thing that's would be considered hazing and they wouldn't let him do it anymore. But
They're
it is
not
like
making them do cocaine off the floor. It's not like a ASU fraternity. It's just sing a song at a talent show. It's not that hard.
yeah, it's every part of that made me miss the camaraderie of, and even like you and we went to a baseball game last weekend, and that was like we spent a lot of the day together. And those like road trips you take with comedians is like a small, it's like a LaCroix version of the camaraderie of a locker room, right? Where you're like, there's 45 dudes, and you really like, it's it really makes you miss that when you see those dudes doing this talent show and everybody's laughing and having a good time. And they even make, my favorite part was they had a dude named John Gardner, who's also, that's the name of a Seattle comedian. John Gardner is a rookie data analyst for the team, and they made him go up and do a set on the talent show. Amazing. So funny.
I thought that was cool. I think, yeah, I was trying to think like what's the equivalent, like making the waiter go up at open mic, but most of them are open micers anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't think that exactly qualifies. But I thought that's a cool, inclusive thing. When I was like 21 or something, I got hired at an office and they just shoved me in a corner with like a cubicle wall and like this other intern that ended up not getting hired on. And so when I ended up getting hired on to full time, they realized like, oh, you don't even know anybody. We've just been shoving you in a dark corner for 3 months, and you actually were good, so we're gonna keep you around. But then they moved me like upstairs around people, and yeah, some of that team building and team bonding is really good. In Corey used to teach comedy classes, and so he would do like name game, and we'd play all the. And I was like, "What's the point of this?" But it is getting to know everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
it does have a purpose, as dumb as it is. But you want that analyst guy to feel like he's invested in the team and people know him. And I think that's the thing they've talked about in interviews a lot is like when they bring a guy in, are they nice to the lunch lady?
Yeah.
Are they cool with the equipment people? Like they really want everyone to be on the same page. So I thought that was a cool. I would have never guessed that that was happening. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Or maybe
Well,
it was just because they didn't have enough rookies. They said that they're like get the white guy out here.
yeah. It's also possible that they want the data guys to not view the players as statistics, and they want the players to not view the data guys as these like pencil pushing
Yeah,
dorks. Like
yeah.
not that anything he was doing was stopping him from being a dork, but
I was gonna
I,
say I don't know that it's gonna change much, but either way, it's nice to put a face behind the pencil.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Like you're
Also, they
asking
had the
that guy to
scene.
change his whole attitude and his whole process for his job to be like, no, 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 you are the numbers guy. But also, I mean, when you do cut him, just remember that he has a family and they're gonna starve now.
Well, but how often? I mean, there's so many times you'll be like, this guy by like Gino Suarez. The Mariners aren't acquiring him, but last year when they did, you're like, yeah, he's probably not going to be that good. He's fine, but he's the vibes guy, and you're like, I don't like the idea of acquiring guys because they're vibes guys because the numbers don't pencil out. But at some point, when you're on the margins, some amount of like team chemistry is important, right? Like when it's, I certainly don't think that like Gino Suarez, if you could have Gino Suarez or peak Alex Rodriguez, that Alex Rodriguez being a dick makes him worth less than Gino Suarez. But when when it's close, when it's something close to a tiebreaker, pick the guy that everyone likes, right?
We don't know what the vibes are on Weston Wilson batting 118. I mean, maybe he's also like just really fun to hang out
He's a
with.
glue guy. He's a real
He's a,
glue guy.
he's a sniffing glue guy, I think, is what's going on over there. Can't even see the fucking ball over here.
The they had the scene where Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, and Jalen Milrow all went out to get cowboy hats, which is another one of
Yeah.
those like camaraderie things. And getting a cowboy hat is the kind of thing like I don't own a cowboy hat. I've never owned a cowboy hat, but I could never imagine going out on my own and getting a cowboy hat. But if one comedian was like, dude, let's go out and get cowboy hats, and it wasn't financially prohibitive, because those things are super expensive, I'd be like, fuck yeah, this is very funny. Let's go do it. Like we used to do stuff like this when we used to talk about it like I want to if we're gonna do something stupid, it's more fun if we do it together as buddies like in high school, and I feel that way about that. I would love to go do that. Let's go get cowboy hats, Andrew.
Hey, next time we're on the road or at a Mariners game, we can go buy a cowboy hat. Those things are expensive, and I've seen on some flights people have a hard case for their cowboy hat, and I'm always like, that seems odd, but God bless. I guess I don't know anything about it.
Well, you got a lot of brim behind you, so I don't think you can have it jammed against the headrest. They seem very inconvenient, frankly.
I don't
Yeah,
know where
no,
you're
that's
gonna
good
wear it. I
input.
mean, other than the walk up and you get the team photographer, and then you go, I'll sit that in the closet for.
Even
Um,
was it? I think it was Milrow was just holding his in his hand. He wasn't even wearing it on the way into the stadium.
and he looked the best in it.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, I want to close on talking about, unless you have something else to talk about. Montori Foster has become like I think the star. And I would say the surprise star of Hard Knocks. His story about being a real estate agent, and even the coach bringing it up and getting it wrong was funny. Like going like, "You were selling insurance a year ago," and he's like, "Well, it was houses, but yes, I understand your point. Like, not even you care enough to commit my story to memory." And
Also,
then
I wasn't selling any houses, so like,
like,
did you watch last episode? I'm not even that good at it, so.
he's like, football was actually my fallback plan. I've dreamt of being a real estate agent for years, but I couldn't close any deals. Um, I I think the thing where his parents, I mean, it's just like so. Again, it's like they really are good at. You're like, oh, my fucking dad sucks. Like Montori Foster's dad is so much cooler than my dad. Like, yeah, it was just like it's very touching. He's 25. He's an old. He's in his second year, but he's 25. He's one of these like older players, and it's just so cool. And I mean, I don't know, you don't have kids, but like you dream of being you want to be that parent. When you're a parent, you want to be that parent. The parent that's like, yeah, I live in Ohio, but you're playing in Tennessee. That's only a 7-hour drive. Let's go, you know?
It reminds me of giving a comic a tag and then watching it work, and you go like, "I'm so proud! Yeah, all right, that was mine. I did that."
How bad
Did
does
your
it feel to give a
parents?
comic? How bad does it feel to
No,
give a
go ahead.
comic a tag and then they don't even try to use it in the several? Like if you're on a weekend and you're like show one, you're like, hey, I think this tag might work, and then they do 4 shows without doing it. You're like, oh, okay, we're not even gonna try this thing. Like that stinks.
Yeah, it is. Depending on the level of confidence I have in the tag, I guess, because I worked with Normand and I gave him one tag that I was sure would work and was up his alley. And then I gave him two others that I was like, this is like a callback. I don't know if you really want to do that. And then this one, it's not, it's just an idea of a tag. You figure it out. And then he didn't do any of them the next show. And then we had a break, we had a day off. And then the next day we were hanging out. And I was like, oh, the first show he didn't do it. And I go, hey, did you try that thing yet? And he goes, oh, you're right. And then he did it and it killed. And then I was like, great.
That's
That's
great.
that's the only one I believed in. So that's all that matters to me. But do your parents ever watch you do stand up or like come to stand up comedies? Do they live in the Seattle area?
My dad has not seen me perform in since pre-pandemic for sure. He and I are on like a 3-year streak of not talking, so that's certainly hurting attendance. Um, he's not a
Is he
big
alive?
fan. He's alive, yeah, he is alive. He had a couple stretches where it wasn't
My
sure
dad
that
and
was
I
going to be
don't
the case.
talk, but that's for different reasons. So.
Yeah, you've talked to your dad more recently than I've talked to mine. Uh, Still, and maybe in perpetuity. Um, the my mom comes. It's interesting having my mom come because it's There was a part of the Montori Foster thing that was interesting to me where his mom's so invested and she's like, "Don't be dropping no damn passes." I remember that line. It's so funny.
And
Um,
his dad is like, "Hey, we're gonna bring that up. Come on, man." Very
yeah,
funny.
that was great. That was a great interaction. And then the way they're like just invested in the team. It reminds me from to harken back to past Seahawks days when Marshawn Lynch's mom and Richard Sherman's mom became like these public figures in Seattle that were at games and on camera a lot and interviewed and stuff like that. And I think
Mama
if
Lynch would
Montori
come to Parlor Live all the time. I remember.
Hell yeah. And I think if Foster makes the team, his parents are certainly going to be heavily featured and stuff. My mom comes to shows and she's like, wants to like, if there's a joke that she has any equity in at all, like if it's about her or about someone she knows, she wants to be like, well, actually, the factual truth is that like I'm like, no, I know, but just shut up because it's like not, And then I had and like jokes about her she really hates. Doesn't matter how like innocent they are, she just absolutely hates them. So I would not say that we have the same relationship with comedy and my parents as Montori Foster has with his parents, and I wonder how often his mom is like, "Hey, so and so that you've never met before wants free tickets to your show 11 months from now," and I'm like, "Okay, well I'm featuring, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it, and also I don't know that person, and also what you've told me about them, they will hate my comedy, so I don't know where you're gonna, I don't, you know." Anyway,
That's
how about you,
funny.
dude?
Yeah, well, it reminded me of there was a story where I was opening for Titus, who was one of my dad's favorite comedians, and I remember being on stage and my dad was dead center and he was using his phone flashlight to look at the food menu. And you're just like, uh, all right, he's got to get his onion rings and that's cool. But um,
For my special taping, the show that we ended up using the vast majority of, you would never know. I probably couldn't even like tell you when and who was laughing, but I can hear my aunt's laugh constantly in it. She's well, not as often as I'd like to be honest with you, but she's in there. I can hear it. And then a couple weeks ago, I did maybe it was July 3rd, so it was a little over a month ago or almost 2 months ago. I headlined Tacoma Comedy Club, Sixth and Proctor, and she's like, "I'm coming to that show," and I was like, "Okay." And then she got premium seats and asked them to seat her dead center, front and center. And I was like, "This is like, it's not good for you, and it's really not good for me." Like, actually, I don't think she hated it that much, but I'm like, it's very distracting to be telling a story and like four members of my family, including my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and his wife, are sitting at a table that's like right next to the stage. And I'm like, I became an atheist, and the only person that ever took me to Sunday school is sitting there making eye contact with me.
yeah, those moments where you're telling, it's weird, you're more comfortable telling stories to people that you don't know at all. And you could be like, yeah, I got this mysterious red bump on my penis. And then they're like, you know, you're making eye contact with your sister and
Yeah.
it's getting weird. But that's why we just want dark audiences.
Yeah, I prefer a black club also. You really let that one eat you. Jadarian Price did a Darius Rucker song. Speaking of, um, I don't know. Did you find so he did a Darius Rucker song and then like cut it to a rap song? I thought that was fun.
Derek Hall knew every song, every word of every song. He was that guy. He was front row center. He was heckling. He was throwing food at people. I think they cut most of it, but he said eating isn't a damn talent. I'm like, you haven't watched Casey. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what that talent show was. Was it a pie eating contest or something? But that was after a bunch of barbecue. This was
Hmm.
my favorite part was just the autism, the logistics of it all is the stuff that scratches my brain. Where they're like, our next refueling opportunity is at the hotel, and you lose this
Yeah.
ounces of water every flight, and you're like, That's the stuff that is the marginal victories, I guarantee, is like the travel science of it all.
Yeah, so
Um,
they
we
called it
kind
a
of talked about
STEM
this last
training.
week, where it's like, yeah, they're like in hotels. We don't even think of that. Where they're in a Hyatt, nothing changes from youth sports. So you're just traveling shitty hotel to shitty hotel. You get an annoying roommate.
I did like how they're like, you got to have a high carb snack. And I'm like, shit, maybe I am a pro football player.
Casey's like, science, believe the science, trust the science. More macaroni and cheese, please.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm listening right now to the Andre Agassi autobiography, and his trainer is named Gil, and Gil makes what he calls Gil water, which sounds like he's pissing in a jar and making Andre Agassi drink it when you just hear it like that. But it's like multiple stages of electrolyte drinks. So it's like here's a prehydration, and then like a recovery, and a post, that kind of thing. And they're all specialized for the state that he's going to be in. Andre Agassi, you find
God.
out very early in this book, is just a meticulous dickhead. Like he's like a toxically meticulous person from abuse from his dad or whatever. Like there's a lot going on in this book, but I heard that chapter after watching Hard Knocks, and I was like, oh, this is like he was doing. The whole Seahawks team is receiving that level of granularity on their nutrition, which and you always think of these guys, you're like, oh, they must just eat like broccoli and chicken all day, and then you're like, oh no, they're burning fucking 7,500 calories a day. These guys, of course, are eating like they show them like piling pancakes and syrup, and you're like, oh, you're gonna get fat off that. Then you're like, oh no, you have 0% body fat. Like you're just trying to maintain enough body fat to not have a bloody nose.
I mean, honestly, when you look at the offensive linemen that retire, like it takes work to stay that fat. I mean, it is dedication and hard work to maintain that physical build. I mean, I think that's some of the things that like, we'll never know some of this stuff, but it's like DK Metcalf is like, oh, I eat candy all the time, and like Richard Sherman was like, I eat gushers. Gushers are my thing, or whatever. There's some. Who was the Dwight Howard was another famous junk food guy, and it's like, well,
Lamar
maybe that's why
Odom,
he didn't. Yeah, well, uh, yeah,
gas
famously
station
into the
boner pills
junk.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, um, yeah. So, um, crazy. Lance Armstrong ahead of his time with the meticulous planning of everything that goes into your body, drugs, and I was trying to. Okay, hey, that's fair. If you bomb, I bomb. We bomb together. But
That's right. Camaraderie, baby. Camaraderie.
hey, I'm honored that you didn't even throw me under the bus for buying the wrong Mariners tickets.
Oh, that'll be a story
Um,
for when we have Corey. I need someone to
okay.
laugh and bounce off of. I can't just have you defending yourself. I did tell it on the episode about the Mariners I did yesterday, but we'll get deep into the details next time Corey's on, or somebody else that knows you well. You are
Very
not
exciting.
you're not scot free on that one.
Appreciate it. The other thing I wanted to just throw in your face real quick was Cooper Cup seems to be in better shape this year, having a great camp by all accounts. And,
Hmm.
you were trying to cut him last year, so shows what you know. Absolutely nothing. You
Well, we'll see
suck.
what its production
And
is. I definitely think that the Cooper Cup is a great example, though,
and
of
glue
what I
guy.
was. Well, yeah, a real gym rat. The analytics guy. Were like, I think on analytical terms, the amount of production he gave you is not worth his contract, but this what he provides to the team is more than that. And how you quantify that, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna claim to. I probably value that stuff less than the football guys do. I think the football guys probably value it more than they should, and the analytical guys probably less than they should. And the Seahawks have talked a bunch this offseason, John Schneider in particular, about how they try to blend those two worlds and make them both represented in their personnel decisions. And so, yeah, man, I mean, they also didn't let him practice, and then Jake Bobo, rest in peace to him as a result of that. Like, the the one other glue guy, Jim Rat, on that receiving
The
core.
pit bull, the pit bull,
The
buddy.
pit
You got to be the pit
bull.
bull.
Yeah, oh man, what's his name? I think I might have it written here. Frisman Jackson. By the way, Frisman, great first name. That is a perfect wide receiver coach first name. I can't begin to tell you how great that is. But he's like on these dudes because Jackson Smith-Njigba is coming off the best year in Seahawks history from a receiver, and he's like, yeah, you're fucking up. And then Jake Bobo, he's like, you got to be more physical. It's like the most physical receiver. The guy runs a 4.9. All he does is be physical. And he's like, I don't know, man. I think the money might have got you. Like he's just challenging him.
I wonder if they ham that up for the camera at all.
Maybe.
But also, that's kind of their job, and
Hmm.
the whole mentality of running it forward instead of running it back, which is
Yeah.
like you're already good enough, and it's like, well, no, you got to get even better because they've gotten better, and they've signed Miles Garrett, and they've done all this other stuff, so you've got to play even better, you know.
Yeah. So today, as we're recording
Seems to be
this,
in good
Leonard Williams.
hands.
Yeah. So today, as we're recording this, Leonard Williams signed an extension, and I think there's whether or not that extension is a good idea or a bad idea. I mean, I like it, but I think you can go like that's a lot of money. That's scary for a guy in his 30s. I was just earlier talking about the guys who maybe are worth more than their production would suggest. Jake Bobo is probably one of those guys. Cooper Kupp maybe is one of those guys. A guy that I think is sneakily the identity, one of the like primary identity of the team guys, and he was a guy that was setting the rules for the rookie talent show and really sets the tone for the toughness of the offense. A guy that I think will get paid a lot more than anyone would have expected 2 years ago, and has been a bigger part. AJ Barner seems to be becoming the identity. He's the guy. He's the identity of the offense. Is him. As much as Sam Darnold is great, a guy like AJ Barner who does it all, like catches, lunch pail, blocker, physical, comes in on short yardage situations and runs the ball, like does anything the team needs of him. That's the kind of identity I think they have as a team, and I don't think anyone embodies it more than him. And I think you have to start talking extension now because the market for tight ends is going crazy. Like, get that guy as early as you can.
I agree, and I hope someone else pays him. I I think that's their. We'll see. Arroyo seems to be flashing early, but we'll see. I mean, I agree, and with the offensive coordinator being the old tight end coach, I think there's something there. And he was like, I had him in fantasy the last half of the season too, because he was bound to score a touchdown. Um, and he's got the baller, whatever you call this,
The
animatronic
barnyard dance or
celebration.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he seemed to be a character, at the parade or at the, celebration event at the stadium. Big fan of his own cowboy hat. Um, but yeah, he might be. I mean, again, if we're gonna, it, I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. Like,
I can't
I don't
believe
know
this
that
is
you.
the one guy you don't want them.
I
You want
know.
them to re-sign every single person. You want Kenneth Walker. You want Reek Woolen. You want to spend all the money. But when AJ Barner, this guy who's been very good, who's actually played well at a position that's hard to play well in the NFL, you're like, nah, I don't want to. I don't think so. I hope someone else takes him.
I still think he fits into a role player. He's not like a top five tight end in the league. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I think you know he's he's probably replaceable. But again, we gotta sign Byron Murphy this year. We gotta sign Sam Darnold this year. We've got to. Um, we'll see what happens.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
don't. I
talking
don't
about.
know.
I think that
I
he's
like
he's
him.
probably going to get more money from. He's going to get more money from the Seahawks. I suspect he's a guy that they prioritize and get the deal done. And a lot of people, including you apparently, against all odds, are like, ooh, that's way too much money. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Where are you
Um,
performing coming up, Andrew?
I'm at the Garland Theater in Spokane on September
Ooh,
3rd.
that's a fun show.
And then this should be good. And then just so you know, I got these new sticker packs. We got hit the damn
Hell yeah.
ball. We got run the damn ball, and then the classic "Fu Thunder." So go get those
What are they?
online.
Andrew J. Rivers is where they find him? How do they
Yeah,
find those stickers?
AndrewJRivers.com. It's on my link tree. I'm running ads. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Shopify. I'm
Andrew's more sticker salesman than comedian at this point.
and then I'll be on tour with Hofstetter, hacking it up for the next month. So
Hell yeah.
come see all these DEI jokes or whatever.
I will be at Spokane Comedy Club on Sunday going against Bill Burr, who will be at a soccer arena. By the way, lots of tickets available to go see Bill Burr, but they're still significantly more expensive than whatever you'll have to pay to see me. And then, real quickly, I'm going to try to pull up my calendar and see what other Northwest dates I have. I will be at a show in Bothell for Laugh Tech. If you look up Laftech Bothell, it's whatever brewery that's at. And then Chehalis at the new Cornucopia Comedy Club in Chehalis. That is the, I believe, third iteration of businesses that have done comedy shows in the same space. The last time I was there, I almost got in a fight with an audience member, and I hope that person does not come to my show on September 19th. So,
Come see
all right.
Casey's talent show performance live
Yeah.
at Spokane Comedy Club. He'll also be singing Darius Rucker and Bob Marley.
And wearing a cowboy hat. All right. Thanks, everybody. Casey McLean Comedy, Andrew J. Rivers on whatever Instagram. Andrew, hang out for a second. Let this recording upload.